When Celeste first released back in 2018, it completely took the world by storm. It was met with incredible reviews from sites like IGN, Metacritic, and Polygon. Besides the game's excellent gameplay, the main aspect of the game that truly resonated with people was getting to experience Madeline's struggles firsthand as she climbs the mountain. And I think everyone can resonate with Madeline in some capacity. Maybe not specifically her struggles with accepting herself as part of the LGBTQ community, but just a general feeling of insecurity and having trouble accepting oneself for who you are. Don't forget Madeline. I'm here to talk about her best friend Theo. Theo is a fun, quirky, social media loving, not like other guy from Seattle, who Madeline meets early on in her climb up Celeste Mountain. Since the game's story primarily focuses on Madeline, we don't really get to know a whole lot about Theo's backstory. We know that he's obsessed with his Instapics account, and that he originally came to the mountain to try and figure out what he really wants from life. He's mainly just a comedic relief character throughout the climb, but he also acts as an emotional crutch for Madeline whenever she has clashes with Madeline, has a panic attack, or just isn't doing very well mental health-wise. Where Theo truly gets to shine is if you take a look at his Instapics page at Theo_stars. It's really just an Instagram account. On this account, we get an inside look at Theo's life from months before the game even takes place. We see his adorable little cat, Spoons, a clean-shaven Theo with nail polish, it looks like? Now, I've been planning on doing this video for a while, and I didn't even notice that until I started running the script. Let's move on, though, into the plot of his Instagram, if you even want to call it that. About 2 weeks before the start of the climb with Madeline, Theo moves to Seattle to start a new job there. It's unclear what kind of job it was, but clearly it wasn't up to Theo's standards for a good job, because he quit after just 3 days of working there. Kinda reminds me of this guy I knew who went to law school, who coincidentally is also from Seattle. Anyway, after quitting his job, Theo decides to head to Celeste Mountain in northern Canada to discover for himself what's so special about the mountain. It's then that we get to take a look at his and Madeline's journey from a more vacation-like perspective. There's photos from when Theo first met Maddie in Chapter 1, all the way to the DLC levels, and everything in between. I think it's fun to see Theo's perspective of the whole journey. I mean, his catchphrase is literally YOLO after all. And it's very clear that he lives by that mantra. We don't see any of Maddie's mental health struggles, obviously, but there's pictures from the Mirror Temple, including a creepypasta-like photo from presumably when Theo gets trapped in the crystal. So after the Mirror Temple debacle, we don't really get a lot of posts from Theo, mainly since the game highlights Madeline's journey from then on. But I am curious about what Theo was up to during that time. After the main game ends, however, Theo goes back down the mountain to Granny's house while he waits for Maddie to come back. While she eventually does arrive, she along with Granny, Theo, and Mr. Oshiro eat the long-awaited strawberry pie, and then everyone goes their separate ways. Theo goes back home to take care of his sister Alex, and Maddie goes back to wherever she came from. Probably Vancouver, I'm assuming. So now it's August, about 6 months since the climb up Celeste Mountain. What's Theo up to now? Seeing as it's summer, Theo goes back up to Canada to visit Maddie. They spend a few weeks together and they have a ton of fun. They made strawberry capirina? I don't know what that is, but Theo seemed really excited about it. And we also see that Maddie got into archery as a hobby. Then Theo's visit ends and he goes back home. All in all, a great summer. About a year or so after Theo's visit, he goes back to Celeste Mountain after Granny's passing to say farewell. As we saw in the farewell DLC chapter of the game, Maddie does not take the news very well and goes off the grid for a couple months, refusing to even talk to her best bud Theo. It's okay though, because although it had been a few months since Granny's passing, Maddie and Theo eventually caught up again and resumed their friendship. And that's it. The end of Theo's story. I gotta say though, I really like how Theo's story was handled by the developers. He's not the main character, so obviously they're not going to focus on him a whole lot in the game, but he's still a really fun character, so I'm glad that they developed his character beyond the game. It really humanizes the character when you know they use everyday things like social media. I don't really know any other examples of this, so in the comment section, if you know any other characters that have like fake social media accounts, let me know. Before I end the video though, I'd like to give credit to the team at Matt Makes Games for making such an incredible gaming experience, as well as the artist who made the illustrations for Theo's Instagram. Make sure to check out the account at Theo_stars. I'll also make sure to leave a link in the description. Until next time, have a great day, and as always, I'll catch you later.